Start. Well, Animate, obviously, this is a 2D software. There are lots of applications of this. It can be used in mobile phone application development as well. Okay, can be used for web-based. So we'll be working on Action Scripting 3, which is for web-based. You can also work on HTML5 canvas. Okay, HTML5 is the latest scripting that is being used. You can work for desktop, for air. Anyway, we are not concerned with that. In fact, action scripting is very important, but it's not in the syllabus. So action scripting is a programming language used within Animate CC to animate or work with game development. You might have been playing miniclips.com when you were in middle school. Remember miniclips.com? All those games were made in Flash. Okay. So most of the game development was being done in Flash. It's still being done, intros and all that. Anyway, so we are working with Action Scripting 3. Once we open this, we get is a stage. We call this a stage. This stage, you can open up the properties from here. You can open up the timeline, the tools, all these from the window. Okay. After that, you see over here we have layers. Down here you can see is we can add layers. We can double click and we can name them as whatever you may want to. The best thing is use as many layers as you may want to. It's not like Photoshop, where whenever you added an object or a text, a new layer was added on its own. Here you have to add layers yourself. You have to work with a timeline. So working with the timeline is one of the most important things, which I'll just show you. So you can see over here is, if you can see how I might zoom in, magnifier. So down here you can see is I have 1, which means I'm at the first frame. It's at 24 frames per second, FPS, and I'm at 0 second. So this tells me about my timeline, right? That's the first thing. Okay. Let's get out of this. So, how to work with layers? Eventually, you learn this. It's pretty easy. If so, in many software like 3D Studio Max and all that, it's all about layers. So let's just make an object. I'll just make a small object, and we'll make our first animation. So once I do this, you see a black dot has been placed over here, which was not. This means I have placed something over here. The black dot represents that. Let's say, so if we are working with 24 FPS, well, by the way, if I'm not interrupting, if properties are there, right? So you can see over here is, I can even change the background color from here. I can even change the width and the height of my stage. Maybe you want to make is a banner. Okay, by the way, you can also make animated banners, the banners that you see on websites, all those anime banners, they are made in Animate. This is FPS. You can double click and you can change the frame rate as well if required by the examiner. Otherwise, we'll leave it as 24. In the previous versions of Animate, which was known as Flash, the default was 12 FPS. But obviously, the more the resolution keeps on increasing, we have to increase it. So this means if I want 1 second, I will be at frame 24. This means I'll be somewhere over here. If I want this to go to 2 seconds, I'll come at 48. So I'll be here. I'll right click. So I'll right click over here. Okay, and I'll insert keyframe. So by inserting keyframe, what I'm saying is I'm emphasizing that I want this animation to start from here. I want it to go till here. Insert keyframe. Listen carefully. What I do is, that is the important thing. We have to make it move. So I'll write and I'll say create classic twin. And before that, I'll also right click and create classic twin. I'll tell you again afterwards why do we do this twice. So once you do this, you get a pale blue background, and you have an arrow. Is an arrow, not a broken arrow, but a straight line arrow. If you have a broken arrow with dots in between, this means you have done something wrong. It is, so Animate tells you that. So I'll repeat this step again, obviously afterwards. But so initially my object is here, and if I press enter, and nothing's happening. Enter is if you want to view it right over here. Okay, and if I press Control Enter, I can view it in the standalone player. Nothing is happening, obviously. So what I'll do is I'll come at the end, I'll click at the end. Once this is selected, I can simply carry this and I can bring it here. Now if I press enter again, obviously it's moving from one end to the other, and so smoothly it's moving. So I'll come to second layer and let me add another shape. Let's add another shape over here. So over here, and let's add another shape. And I'll do the same thing. I'll come here, insert keyframe, create classic twin, and create classic twin again. So I'll come at the end, and let's say I want to move this from here to here. Very simple. Simple.
You create the classic twin on the same point twice.
Twice exactly. We have to do it one at the end, one before that. If I press Control Enter, we get is this, right? Let me just. So now what we have is the interesting part and important part is what? If I have to save it as, let me save it as, let me save it on the desktop and just let me name it as connections, right? And I'll just save it as, let's say, main. And here we go. I'll just save it. Now what you will see is, if I go to the desktop, animations, I have this main. This is what I have. FLA file. That's important. This is flash file. This is the file. If I open this file, obviously this is where I come. This is the file that needs to be edited. I will not upload this file. So once I press Control Enter, this gets generated the .swf file. Now you will see over here is, within this you see this file has been created. This is the SWF file. Okay, so once I open this, the standalone file will open. I just tempered with it. Probably it might no, it's not opening, but it will open in yours. So, but you can also do one more thing. I can come to File, I can come to Publish Settings, or just a simple publish. We'll talk about publish settings later on. I'll discuss this later on with you, not today. So I'll just come to File and I'll publish this. What will happen? I have created is an HTML file. So let's open this with Chrome and let's see what happens. No way. Okay, you can try this with yours or I'll let you know what to do. Anyway, this will open up in that.
You can send it to me on WhatsApp and I can open it on my side. Like now, if you want.
Should I send you right away?
Yeah, you can send it to me now. That's fine.
Okay, what's this one? On WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Even if it's not opening in yours, then I will tell you what to do. This means I'll tell you to install another version. Okay, I'll let you know what to do. Let's check it out. Okay, that's yours.
WhatsApp is just loading.
What?
WhatsApp is just loading.
Okay, right.
Oh, I don't have my phone with me now, so it won't work. Never mind.
Oh, okay, right. No problem. So you'll try afterwards then? Okay, fine. You can try afterwards. Okay, right. So do let me know. So anyway, but this is what we'll use. We can generate our HTML file and we can generate our SWF file in the same way. We can also make a GIF file, but let's talk about that later on. So these are your layers. You can keep on adding your layers. Okay. you should follow the timeline. If the examiner says that the animation should go till 10 seconds, you see over here, where am I right now? I'm 1.8 second. I'm not exactly at, so if I extend this, sorry, I was supposed to go at 48. I did not. This is 48. This is 48. You see now it's 2 seconds. If you can see, it's 2 seconds. This means in 48 frames, I will be doing it in 2 seconds. So if the examiner says that it has to go for 10 seconds, this means we will be having 480 seconds. So calculating this should be very important. It's not that our animation is going for 10.4 seconds, and that will be wrong. We have timeline is the most important thing over here that we have to work with. So I'll open up a new one. So right. So that's how you work with simple animation. Let's do more. For example, I can make this over here, and let's say I can come to 50, insert keyframe, create classic twin, and create classic twin. Well, what I want to do is I want this in the beginning. Let's say in the beginning over here, using this the feed transform tool, I can reduce the size of this, and eventually size increases. So obviously what's happening is the size increases from small to big. Okay. Now this could happen with any object. For example, file new. Let's talk about that as well. So let's do something. Let's go import. You can press Control R or import, or you can go into import to stage, Control R. So let's import, let's say graphics. Yeah, let's import this car. And let me. So this is what you have over here. Now, if you press Control L, you will have your library, your personal library. Everything that you import, all the symbols that you create, will be going in your personal library. So Control L, remember that. Okay. So even if I delete this, no problem. I can press Control L. It's in my library, and I can click, drag, and drop it again. Get the point? So everything goes in my library. Remember that. Control L. So we could do something. We are using simple animation. What we could do is I'll bring it here, and I'll bring it here. I'll say insert keyframe, create classic twin, and create classic twin. And let's bring this car somewhere over here. Now if I press Control Enter, obviously the wheels are not moving, and we'll also make that move afterwards. So it's moving. Obviously the text looks a bit wrong, but you get the point. So by using simple create motion twin, we can even move pictures, objects, whatever. You get the point.
Which tool did you use to move the car?
I have the move tool. I simply use the move tool. Initially it was here.
Okay.
Then at the here. So I just carried it, and I can place it wherever I want.
Or just with the mouse? Okay.
Just with the mouse, exactly. Right? So, okay, one important thing as well is, which I should discuss with you, is that whenever we make objects, you can see, this is the oval object. This is the stroke, and this is the fill. You can change the stroke color to, let's say, blue. You can change the fill to, let's say, red. Okay? And once your properties are opened up, you can see over here is that my stroke is 1. I can increase the stroke to a bit more. Now, if I draw this, you see the stroke. Now, the good thing is I can click here and I can separate this. So my stroke has been separated with the fill. And not like Photoshop, you have to use a tool. Just using this move tool, I can just select this part. I can select this part and press delete, because you can see pixels. Okay, you can see that there are pixels everywhere, right? So you see, I can even drag it any way I want. It's so interesting. You can even make logos in this. Same case with this. When I click on this, I can even hold on. I can stretch it any way I want to do this one as well. So this one is so interesting, right? So this is how you can work with them. So you can even select this one, select this part, and you can change the color of this to some other color as well. I did not. I did. Select this part and change the color to some other color. You see? and change the colors. And you can even delete it or whatever you may want to. Okay. So this is what you can do. And one more thing is, I can probably, let's say, select this part and change the color of this. I'm just, because working with shapes is important, I'll tell you that first. I can bring it here. Once I bring it here, I can carry this and I've been able to cut it, right? So working with shapes in this tool is very, very easy, frankly speaking. It's very easy. Okay. And then, by the way, if you want to save it even as an SVG, sorry, not from here. SVG is your vector-based file format. Export into image. You have SVG file format. So JPG is your bitmap, but SVG supports Illustrator as well. It doesn't mean that you don't have to do Illustrator, you have to do Illustrator. I'm just telling you, in case if the examiner says you have to save it as an SVG, we can do that. Okay? So a very, very good tool, very good. Sports animations, it supports movies, it supports bitmap, lots of things. So I can delete it now because it's two-dimensional tool. So that's how you work with the shapes. So new, let's have a look at more. So this is really important to know this first. So you have over here is a polystar as well. You have line as well. Okay, what is the lasso tool? The role of lasso tool. Let's talk about this. Well, hold on. Let's talk about this. Well, let me change the background color of this to black. So obviously what's happening is, you can see over here is I get is a white background. If I double click on this image, I can go into the, you see I'm in scene 1. If I double click on this, I'll go inside the object, 2 in 1. Can you see that? Now what I'll do is, let's just listen carefully. I will press Control B to break it into pixels. Now the advantage of this is, you see, I can do anything. I just like, but you know, it's working in a very different way. But why have I done this? It's being recorded. I know I'm discussing multiple things, I'm sure. So if I click on this, the lasso tool, once I click on the lasso tool, I will see, there's a small arrow, and if you click on that, I get the magic wand tool, sorry. If I click on the magic wand tool, and I click here, and now I can press delete. I didn't do it with perfection. Obviously, if I start working with more, I can do it. Although we don't have to do this all the time, but I'm just telling you, there is the magic wand tool here as well, so you can use it. Okay, so you can increase and decrease the threshold more. This was very less. I could have increased this to, let's say, 20. Okay, let's try. Let me just go back and do delete. Let me select this. Where is the threshold? Hold on. So let me make it, let's say, 15. And now let me try. Does it make any difference? You see, it's much more smoother. Can you see that? Okay, and if I keep on increasing, the time will come, I will be able to do it with quite perfection. So I can just simply select this, and I can delete this, or I can delete this part, and I control minus, and let's go back to scene 1. Okay, so we have something like this now. So I did not go into Photoshop. We just tried to do all this over here. You get my point, using the magic wand tool. You get my point. Are you following me? Right? So yeah, this is the way you work with these tools, the magic wand tool. The lasso tool I'll discuss with you later on. Why is it important? What else you should know? The bone tool, not in the syllabus, but once we do the revision, I would like to discuss with you, not right now, okay? In case if the examiner asks you a very different thing, we should know what the bone tool does as well, okay? The razor tool, obviously, razor tool. So there aren't many tools in the software, because working with the timeline is the most important thing. That's the most important thing. So, all right, Okay, the last thing, then I'll stop. So the last topic that we will discuss for today is our shape twinning. What's shape twinning? Well, Adesh, look over here. If I select the shape and I'll do the same thing, I'll come here, insert keyframe. Now, remember we used to do is create classic twin. I will not do that. I will do this create shape twin. Okay? Just for a change, for a different thing. Create shape twin and create shape twin. So in this way, obviously shape, the color has changed. It's not motion. It's not meant to move it. Okay. So what will happen now is it should turn from one shape to the other shape. But I don't have another shape. So what do we do? Well, I'll go at the end and I'll simply delete. Okay, fine. Dot line comes in because I did something wrong, but I need to rectify that. So I'll make another shape over here. Here we go, something like this. So line comes back. Now what's happening is, see, swinging from one shape to the other shape. So I'll do it again. I'll another layer. Let me add over here is this shape. I'll come here, insert insert keyframe, create shift ring, come at the end, and you simply delete this. And let's say you make now is an oval shape. And at the same time, I do is let me change the color of this as well, so that you can see what's happening. So here we go, Control Enter, and we get this. So see, we work with shape twinning as well today. That's shape twinning. First, we
Can you do shape twin and a classic twin at the same time?
Yeah, we can do. We did that. We did that. You see, a shape twinning does
Perfect.
twinning. You see, I moved.
Because it also moves. Yeah.
Yeah, it stores within it. Right. Right. So this is our first and very important part of our lecture. It's the beginning, frankly speaking, and obviously there are lots of things more to come. But step by step, if we keep on revising all this, it's pretty easy to do. Obviously, it is. And it will help us to learn more advanced softwares in the future, like 3D Studio Max and stuff like that, and Maya as well. Right, Rish, dear, any question? Sending you some more graphic activities before the next class. Make sure during that time complete those. Okay. Any problem during the week, and I'll help you out with those. Right, dear?
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Right, dear? Okay then. Okay then. See you then. Okay. I'll share this with you. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, dear. Okay. Okay. Bye. Bye.
Bye.